As a preliminary matter, this is Woody Knight, Chair of the Newbury Planning Board. Permit me to confirm that all members and persons anticipated on the agenda are present and can hear me. Planning Board members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Peter Pecos?
Yes, sir.
Larry Murphy? Scott Kinter?
Yes.
Steve Mangian?
Aye.
And town staff, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Kristen Groves, Planning Director?
Yes.
And Sadie Woodward, Assistant Planner.
Not sure if she's gonna make it on tonight.
Okay. Yep. Good evening. November 19th, 2025, open meeting of the Newbury Planning Board is being conducted remotely consistent with the Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2025, which extends the Governor's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, GLC 30A 20, until June 30th, 2027. For this meeting, the Newbury Planning Board is convening by video conference via Zoom, as posted on the Planning Board's agenda, which can be found on the town's website. You may join us by going to http://zoom.us, entering meeting ID number 832-714-1356, passcode 108790, or by calling in 1929-205-6099 US and entering the meeting ID number and passcode when prompted. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and that attendees are participating by video and or telephone conference. The meeting is also being broadcast live through the local access cable channel 9 on Zoom and at https://newburytv.wixsite.com/tnctv. And the recording will be available on the Newbury Access YouTube channel. Meeting business ground rules. Before we turn to the first item on the agenda, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. As chair, I'll introduce each speaker on the agenda. After speakers conclude their remarks, I'll go down the list of board members, inviting each by name to provide a comment, questions, or motions. For all attendees except board members and staff, please remember to mute your audio when you are not speaking. On Zoom, use the mute button. On phone, use *6 to toggle mute and to also unmute. There will be an opportunity for public comment and questions during the public hearing. After board members have spoken, I will afford the public an opportunity to comment or ask questions, I will see questions and comments through the Zoom raised hand function. Video conference participants, to raise your hand, hover over the button of the Zoom window below the photo gallery and click on the image of a hand that appears. Please ensure your name is fully and correctly displayed on the participant list. Telephone participants, to raise your hand in a Zoom meeting, hit *9 on your phone keypad. I will then allow questions and comments from members of the public who have raised their hands in the order in which they are listed, which is determined by the order in which people click on the raised hand function. Each participant will be called on to provide his or her name and address, and then may ask a question or make their comment. Please do your best to keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. Your hand will be lowered when you have been given the floor for your questions. I will afford the applicant or his or her representative the opportunity to reply. I will then continue down the list of those in the raised hand column and again afford the applicant or representative an opportunity to speak. Should there be a written submittal of questions or concerns, they will be noted for the record. The applicant will be afforded the opportunity to speak if the issues raised have not yet been addressed. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. All right. First item on the agenda is old business, 100 High Road, definitive subdivision, property owner 100 High Road LLC, applicant Tom Nevey. And with that said, go ahead, Pete.
All right, thanks, Woody. Tom, do you have anything to present or to update the planning board regarding your request?
I do. Thank you. I wrote the planning board a letter on November 12th. And I also submitted to you a recorded copy of the decision and the security agreement as well. But at this time, I'm asking the board to entertain a motion that to release all the lots within the subdivision, Lot 1A, Lot 2, and Lot 3. I wanted to put a vote on record at the registry so there'd be no confusion whatsoever that the lots are available for sale, since we have posted the bond and we have posted the money with the town treasurer. It's a pretty, simple thing, simple request. It may seem a little unorthodox because customarily we would have filed a covenant with the board requesting that you sign the subdivision plans. And then once the bonds were posted, normally you would go and get financing and either enter into one of the three methods that are shown in your regulations to secure the construction of the road. We would then ask for a lot release once that security was issued from the covenant. So in this case, we don't have a covenant. We went directly to a security agreement and posted the security in the form of cash. So the record is clear, and I've been around the block a few times with title examiners, and they always get bogged down to the fact that there's no release on record of the lots to be sold. So that's what we're asking the board to do tonight. If you would oblige, we'd appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Let me just see if the board members have any questions. Larry, do you have any questions?
I do not.
Okay. Steve, do you have any questions? No, you don't have any questions. Great. Scott, any questions?
I don't have any questions.
Beautiful. That being the case, I would welcome a motion to approve first the 100 High Road site plans, which are dated the 21st of May, 2025, and revised on October 15th, 2025.
So
So move.
move.
Thank you, Steve. And the second, Larry.
Second, yeah.
Thank you very much. Roll call vote. Larry.
Yes.
Thank you, Steve.
Aye.
Yes. Scott.
Yes.
Thanks, and I will also vote yes as well. And ask for a second motion to release lots 1A, 2, and 3 as shown on the approved subdivision plans located on 100 High Road for sale.
So moved.
Thank you, Steve. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Larry. Any discussion, any questions? Larry, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. Scott, how do you vote?
Yes.
Thank you. And Steve?
Aye.
And I do as well. And I'll turn this back over to you. And thanks very much, Tom. Good luck.
Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep, good luck with everything, Tom. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thank you, Woody.
Turning to the next item on the agenda, liaison meeting reports. We'll start with ZBA. Larry?
Thank you, Woody. The ZBA is holding their regular monthly meeting tomorrow night at 7:30 at the town hall. Two items on the agenda. One is they're reviewing a final decision on where's it, 25 Harvard Way, which is for additions and renovations to expand the footprint and go up. They voted approval at the last meeting, subject to drafting a favorable decision. So they're going to look at that tomorrow night. And the Sunset Club Pavilion is also on the agenda for tomorrow night. I understand some new renderings have been submitted, and they're taking up the discussion again on that matter. And that's all I have for now.
All right. Thank you, Larry. Conservation Commission, that would be me. We had a meeting last night. It was a emergency special meeting for applicant on the Newburyport Turnpike that had sold their home or was in the process of selling their home and had discovered that there were 3 open orders of conditions, one dating back to the 90s that we had no records of. So we hashed our way through all of that, and it was so favorable for the applicant, and they're set to go. So other than that, I have nothing to report from conservation. We will be meeting in, I believe, the first Tuesday of December. Next, we have MVPC, Kristen.
Yep, we have our MVPC November Commissioners meeting tomorrow, so I will report on that at the next meeting. The MVPC Regional Planners meeting normally would be next Thursday, but everyone will be celebrating the holiday next Thursday. So we met yesterday with MVPC and the regional planners, and they presented a review of the priority growth strategy, the regional priority growth strategy, which I may have mentioned before, but they've completed the full plan and developed what's called an experience builder. It's this actually really very, very cool GIS tool that sort of is a story map of the plan in the region. Essentially, the priority growth strategy it's not really a new plan. It's sort of pulling together all of the work that's been done recently. So the housing production plans, the community economic development, the SEDS plan, and a lot of data related to transportation and other sort of industrial commercial growth, a lot of economic development growth plans. So I will share that link and we'll post it on the new town website, which we'll be working on over the next couple weeks, cleaning up some of the planning pages. And it just has a lot of data all in one place. So it's a pretty cool tool to check out how Newbury kind of sits within the Merrimack Valley region. One little data point I thought was interesting from their presentation yesterday was Merrimack Valley, they had population growth projections for the next 10 years. And Merrimack Valley is projected to grow 3.5% population in the next 10 years. And we're the only region in the state that's projected to grow, which is just interesting to think about in terms of population. So that's it for the MVPC report.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. We're on the verge of 7:14 here, so in about a minute, we'll open up a public hearing.
And I just thought I'd mention, I think the board knows this, but for anyone listening, we'll have the minutes from the last planning board meeting available at our next meeting. We apologize, but didn't get them ready for this time. So November 5th will be reviewed at the December 3rd public meeting.
Our next meeting would be December 3rd. So Wednesday.
Yeah,
And then our meeting after that would be December 17th, the week before Christmas Eve. So if at all possible, if we don't have anything pressing, we may or may not have a meeting. So we'll keep you updated on that. We're gonna have 7:15, public hearing continuance for 34 Central Street. Level 2 site plan review. Application for Byfield Heights, a 44-unit multifamily development in the Newbury zoning bylaw, section 97-4G, MBTA Communities Multifamily Overlay District. at 34 Central Street, Assessors Map R 19019. Owner Melody and Robert Pritchard. Applicant Massachusetts Housing Opportunities Corporation, LLC. I'd like to welcome Michael Ives and Jerry Welch, engineer Christian Smith, and I'd like to also welcome our town council, Jay Tellerman.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, and thank you for having us tonight. I'll quickly just go over, and I guess you folks can let me know if you want me to put the presentation plan up on a share screen. I can quickly go through the issues we've dealt with since our last meeting. Those would be number one, the charges that we had after the last meeting was to evaluate the lighting based on the ordinance. And we have submitted a letter from our lighting engineer that specifies the criteria as well as the fact that everything within the development does meet that criteria. And again, you know, my clients have indicated that if the end of the driveway pedestal lights, like had been shown from Governor Dummer, and I believe one other project as well, they're perfectly happy to add those to the plan if the board feels that that is warranted or preferred. But lighting as shown does indeed meet the letter of the code. Secondarily, we have added to deal with the question regarding the turning radiuses or radii, excuse me. We have added the 15-mile-an-hour speed limit sign near the entrance. We have addressed all of the traffic consultant MDM comments. Aside from those, it will be on the final offsite improvement plan, which I think Kristen and I both were of the same opinion that essentially, you know, that will be done once we have everything squared away, both through the Conservation Commission as well as the Byfield Water District. And I should update you that we did meet with Byfield Water last week, and I think we have a plan as to how to go about defining and determining exactly where the transite pipe and the concrete line ductile iron pipe transition. And my clients are in ongoing negotiations with them as to, you know, number one, figuring out exactly what that length of pipe is, who will be responsible for, you know, what specifically regarding the upgrade of that pipe to concrete line ductile iron. And then I thought there was one other issue I wanted to touch on. Let's see. Well, we did receive the commentary from Martha specific to the architectural plans, and I know that the architect is actively working to address those final issues. And final piece is we have well, I shouldn't say we, because it was actually Jerry Welch and our landscape architect met with the Scuderies on their property, and the Scuderies have commented and determined the specific planting that they want. I think they were okay with the planting scheme, the separation, the height at the time of planting, and the ultimate height of the mature trees that were selected. And we were actually provided today by our landscape architect with the updated plan to indicate that particular species that the abutter had chosen. In addition to that, we have submitted what we hope is a final response to Joe Sirwatka's most recent review memo. I haven't seen anything back from him on that yet, but we believe that we've addressed all of his comments, and certainly anything that would potentially be outstanding would be very minimum and very likely administrative in nature. And with that, I guess the board can let me know if they would like me to put the plan up for talking purposes, or Otherwise, I will happily address any questions from the board.
Okay, thank you, Christian. Before I go through the board members, Kristen, are there any new departmental comments?
Christian mentioned that Martha Taylor, our special projects planner, did review the architecture and share some comments around, which I've shared with the applicant and with you. And I think they're primarily sort of consistency and sort of detail consistency among the plans. So I think the way we are intending to address that is in a condition and just say, you know, the final architectural drawings will be reviewed before final at a later date, before the building permits are issued. So we'll have a chance to make sure that all of Martha's comments are addressed. And there were no other departmental comments. Joe Sirwaka did receive the revised plan set last week. I haven't received a review letter from him. I still expect one, but I also feel as though things were, according to Christian's letter, which he shared, I think things are in good shape from Joe's previous concerns. So I don't anticipate there being any remaining questions from peer review. And the other thing Christian talked about was that we did have a site visit with the abutter, the Scuderies, and those landscape plans are in good shape that were submitted today, documenting the buffer screening along that side of the property.
Okay, thank you. And any new written public comments, Kristen?
No.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'll start with Pete. Do you have any comments, Pete? Or questions for Christian?
No, thanks, Woody. Christian, appreciate your comments, and I appreciate the willingness to put some pedestal lighting along the walkway, which I think would be very helpful just from a safety standpoint. So I appreciate that cooperation. And did you say that there was going to be was there just a single sign indicating the speed limit when you enter, or will there be signs throughout?
As far as I understand, and I believe we reviewed this with Vanessa, who was our traffic consultant, right now, Peter, there is a singular sign. You know, if it made sense, I think perhaps at the first right turn where the circle comes back onto itself, you know, we could put one there for right turning vehicles, just to remind them as they go up and around the corners.
I just think that might be helpful, and you know, you might just need flexibility on that. You'll get a feel for that, I think. Those are my only comments. Thanks very much, Christian.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Pete. Thank you, Christian. Larry, any questions or comments?
No, I have nothing to add, Woody.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Scott, any questions or comments? I believe you're muted, Scott.
I have no questions. Sorry, I got bumped off earlier. Bad connection, but no questions. Thank you.
All right, and thank you, Scott, and I'm glad you're back with us.
Thanks.
Steve, any questions or comments?
No, I'm all set.
Okay, very good. I don't have any questions or comments at this time right now. So with that said, do we have any raised hands from the public? Anyone from the public wish to make a comment or ask a question?
I
Not
don't-
seeing any.
Yeah, I don't see anybody.
Okay. With that said, unless Jay has something he wants to say, we'll put up the draft for the decision.
No, I'm in good shape. I've been focusing on helping Kristen out with the draft.
Okay. Yep. Thank you, Jay. go through the modifications of since the last meeting, Kristen?
Sure. Thanks, Woody. Can you all see the draft? You
Yep.
want me to make it a little bigger?
That's legible for me, Kristen. Thank you.
Okay, this has a few red lines on it, from the draft that was shared last week, and town council has reviewed it. So I'll just go along and, it's 15 pages, so I'll try to keep it short and sweet, but if anyone has questions, we can spend as much time talking as needed. So the project's called Byfield Heights. We all know that. I don't think there are any early edits, other than a few typos as you see, capital letters. In the procedural history, we've added, we've brought the chronology of the project up to current day, up till November 19th, which is today's public hearing. So we'll clean this up in terms of the vote, if it is taken later tonight. We've added a few more documents, the most recent documents from the applicant that have been shared, the most recent landscape plan sheets that were submitted today. And then we've got all these crazy numbering sequence here, all the way up to triple letters. So we've added the Newbury Fire Department review comments, which we shared at the earlier meeting in November, and the architectural review comments as this is a category of review letters and departmental comments. And then public comments, I just shared the recent communication from Nino Scuderi at 3 Central Court related to the landscaping. So the findings have been agreed upon, no changes there. Conditions. I think this edit was a clarification from town council regarding just making D and E separate components of this condition related to offsite improvements. So D reads, if the applicant, despite demonstrable efforts, is unable to obtain the select board's permission to construct the proposed Central Court intersection improvement, it may seek administrative approval from the planning board to be relieved of the responsibility to comply with this condition. And then if the applicant, despite efforts, is unable to obtain the select board's permission to complete the improvements on town property along Central Court and Central Street, including crosswalks, pedestrian beacons, vegetation, installation of speed or other signs, it may seek approval from the planning board to be relieved of the responsibility or modify the responsibility. So that's pretty straightforward clarification. Thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
I think some of these edits are simply when we accepted changes from the red line version into the clean version, we lost a few words here and there. So they're basically like proofreading edits, but no changes from what was in the original red line. This was a clarification under the housing, this condition about the affordable housing restrictions. This language said that the units could be sold or rented, and I know the intention of this project is to have the units for sale, so we just clarified that, edited that. And then this cross out that you see here, we simply moved this down further because it seemed more clear to understand the chronology of the steps required for the affordable housing units to be established. So no substantive changes here. We've talked recently about the lighting. So this I modified slightly to address that the final lighting plan showing any of the additional sidewalk lighting or other changes shall be approved at a later date by the planning board. And then here, we've also talked about these two slight modifications to the language in the landscaping condition, and then the addition of this condition about the architectural plans. Final architectural drawings shall address all review comments made during permitting and shall be reviewed and approved by the planning director and building commissioner prior to the building permits. Couple small edits. This also was language that just got lost between the red line and the clean version. And what else? Small edits. This will make sure all the spacing gets all cleaned up in the final version. There had been a comment related to this condition here, and Jay just clarified this is consistent with what we have in our bylaw, so it really is not necessary to have it in the decision because we already have it as a regulation, but it's helpful to put it right in here so everyone has it up front. And that is it. Any questions?
Pete, do you have any questions on anything in the decision?
I do not.
Larry?
No, I don't, Woody.
Scott?
No questions. Thank you.
And Steve?
No questions. I'm all set.
And I have no questions as well. With that said, good job on getting the decision together, Jay and Kristen. What are the wishes of the board? Do we, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing
Woody, I
34
would
Central
love to
Street.
give that to you.
for 34 Central Street, Level 2 Site Plan Review. And Pete, thank you for your motion. Do I have a second?
Second,
Thank you, Larry. Roll call vote. Pete,
Yes.
Larry,
yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Steve,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. All right. Public hearing is now closed. As far as the decision is concerned, I'd entertain a motion to approve with the modifications that we just saw, the decision for 34 Central Street, Level 2 Site Plan Review.
So move.
Thank you, Larry. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Scott. Roll call vote. Peter,
Yes.
Larry,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Steve.
Yes.
And I vote yes as well. So that concludes that. Thank you, Christian, for
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to take a moment to thank all of you, including obviously Kristen, Sadie, and Attorney Tallerman, for all your efforts on this. I know the first project through a brand new zoning ordinance is never easy, but I do absolutely appreciate your unwavering attention to this and assistance with working through that new ordinance and getting the project to a position of approval. Thank you all very much.
Congratulations.
I'd also like to say thank you to the board and to Kristen for the board being so thorough. The board was so thorough during all these hearings. And Kristen, I have to commend you on your organizational skills. So thank you for your hard work.
Thank you.
Well, we look
And
forward.
have a happy Thanksgiving, one and all.
Yes, you all as well, and thank you, Jay, for your time.
You're welcome.
All right,
Good night,
thanks,
Ed.
guys.
Nice
Bye-bye.
job,
Good
Jay.
night.
Have a good night. All right. We have one thing left on the agenda, and that would be Kristen and Sadie with the planners report.
All right. The work doesn't stop, but congratulations. I just want to echo thanks to all of you for that project review, which has taken a lot of people's time and energy and thought, and I really appreciate it, as well as people in the public, some of whom are on the meeting, but all the folks in the neighborhood who've been involved and provided comments and asked questions. I think it's really been helpful to have community engagement on this project. And I look forward to seeing it move forward and providing housing for folks to live in Newbury. Planners report, we would love to take a breath, but in fact, we had a definitive subdivision filed today with us. So 15 Central Street, which you all reviewed the preliminary subdivision over the summer, they've filed a definitive subdivision. So we'll be reviewing those materials and making sure everything's in order. And then it'll come to you to be submitted and received. And then we'll start a public hearing process for that 2-lot subdivision at 15 Central. And we've also received last week a request for a pre-application meeting for a multifamily project at 65 Hanover. As you recall, the very first step in our multifamily bylaw is a pre-application meeting with staff. So it's police chief, fire chief, planning, conservation, health agent, everybody involved at this 12 Kentway end meets with the applicant and reviews their preliminary plans. So haven't really seen it yet, but it is a parcel that was in the multifamily overlay district. So I will keep you posted on that. And then just 2 other quick things. Mentioned it earlier, but the Seagate conservation restriction has been completely not just approved at our end as grantee of the conservation restriction. The town had signatures from the Conservation Commission and the Select Board, but the grantor, DePiro, and the trust that owns the property at 105 High, and then it has to also get reviewed and approved by the state. So all of that has happened. The conservation restriction is recorded, so that open space land at the back of 100 High is permanently protected and will be stewarded by the town's Conservation Commission, working with the homeowners at 105 High, which is great. It's a really pretty trail back there. And I think, Sadie and I will work with the Open Space Committee to have some kind of walk or celebration. I think winter would be a really beautiful time to be back there. The trail kind of loops through the boardwalk and goes back into the woods towards the salt marsh on the backside of Plum Island. So it's not a big walk, but it's really beautiful. And I know those of you on the board have seen it and walked a little bit when it's been buggy and ticky and, and dusty. So I look forward to sort of celebrating that project and the work the planning board did to establish that open space. So kudos on that milestone for that project. And then finally, kind of related, I just want to remind you all, you should have received an email from the Open Space Committee sent via Sadie, our assistant planner, to inviting the planning board to give comments to the open space and rec committees that are working on the open space and rec update plan. The planning board is one of the entities who we obviously want to hear from, but you're also named as a requirement to give your input and review of the open space rec plan as it gets drafted and sent up to the state to be adopted by the state. So that I think that inquiry should have hit you among all the other millions of emails you got from us. So I just wanted to like mention it and have you keep an eye out for that. And if you have any questions about the open space rec plan process, just reach out to Sadie or to me. That is my update.
Kristen, a quick question about that. Will the planning board be commenting as the planning board, or do we comment as individual members of the planning board?
I can answer that
Good
if
question.
needed. I believe the intention was for you all to answer as members of the planning board because, as Kristen mentioned, we'll be asking for your approval, like the planning board's approval of the plan before we send it to the state. So it's kind of like, we're just trying to start the process early, but like we haven't finished our draft yet. So we're just trying to start the intergroup process communication early, so that you're ready for when we send you guys the draft. If that makes sense. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so I think right now, Steve, if you have comments from your perspective as a planner, a planning board member on anything related to open space, I think it's sort of an open forum at the moment in terms of information gathering, but at a later date, the board will sort of be asked to more formally like approve the plan. Is that right, Sadie?
Yes, that was what I wanted to say. Yes.
Yeah, you said it. We both said it. Does that make sense though, Steve?
Well, I'm gonna do a tap dance perhaps. So I'm thinking that let's say I generate some comments, I might be able to share them with the other members of the board, not for discussion purposes, but just as an FYI, so that when we do come up with something as the official from the planning board, those considerations might be taken into account. You know, I'm trying to work around the open meeting law, or work with the open meeting law.
Oh, it's so simple. You just send them to Kristen, and she can circulate them to everybody.
Yeah, it never seems simple to me, Peter. I can take your point.
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, yeah, I appreciate your thinking, Steve, because having one opinion as a board is a feat, right? Like how many of us in the room, we're all going to have slightly different opinions. And certainly we work through that in projects like the one that's just been approved. But yeah, I think at this point, individual opinions and comments are perfect and happy to distribute them to the other planning board members. And then again, once the plan is actually drafted with an action plan, there's going to be a public meeting related to that phase of the open space plan as well. So one step at a time, I guess.
Right. Well, I anticipate you being the hub to our spokes.
We will do our best. Yeah.
Very good. Anyone else have any questions for Kristen? Hearing none, before I entertain a motion to adjourn, I'd just like to say that I hope everyone has a happy, healthy, and safe Thanksgiving next week. And we'll see you the first Wednesday of December.
Thank you, Woody. You too.
Same to you, Woody.
Thank you, Woody.
With that said, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Scott. And do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Larry. Roll call vote, Pete,
Yes, sir.
Larry, Scott.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Steve,
yes.
and I vote yes
Yes.
as well. And, have a good night, everyone.
All right. Good night.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Take care.